And we are live. Kind of a random stream. But I'll stay on as long as I can. As long as the baby doesn't wake up or anything. If anybody's out there and wants to say hello, this is a open chat. I will put the link in the chat. If anybody would like to join, just follow that link there. Hey, William. How are you doing? Is there a sound? Check, check. Anybody in the chat can confirm or deny if there's sound. Got my coffee. It's black. Going all out on the minimal lifestyle there. Awesome. Let me just resize that. Okay. This is kind of a random chat. Didn't really plan anything out. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about? I'm open to talk about anything. Hopefully Linux related. I have been working on my i3 setup. A couple new functions that I got going on it. Let me see if I share the screen. It'll merge both of my displays, both the internal laptop and the external extended. So it'll just look like a really long display. Yeah, we could take a look at maybe DistroWatch, see what's new, if anything. The link didn't work. I copied it directly from the top bar there. Yeah, I shared it again. Hopefully it works that time. Oh, it's trying to get you to install the Hangouts app on whatever device it is that you're using there, William. Seems like you don't have Hangouts installed. Yeah, let me see. Monitor, how many people are watching? So I got one watching here. I'll share the link on MeWe too. See if anybody wants to watch here. Um, yeah, so um, any news that I'm seeing, um, I've really not done much distro hopping lately at all, really. Um, Let me see. The link I shared should be working. Um, it works for everybody else that I share it with. That's the one thing that I don't like about MeWe. Notifications pile up and it notifies you about literally everything. I've looked at my phone and found over 1,000 notifications for MeWe. Hmm. Do you have Hangouts installed, William? Hmm. Hmm. That's weird. Yeah, because that's the link that I always share to get people to join. Oh, it's on a tablet. Maybe it works differently on a tablet. I'm not sure. Um, I don't really use mobile devices for this kind of thing. Let me see. Um, yeah, so let me see if I can find it. Hi, Qualis66. It is an open chat. I shared the link in the in the chat. Um, Anybody can join us in open chats. No real topic that I chose. Just kind of a spur of the moment thing. Um, Here, let me see. I should open up the. Let me see. I have the extension open. There's a plus sign here that says to start a new conversation. I don't think that's what I want here because I already have this conversation going. Okay, I'm seeing where it says to add people. Let me see. Okay, so I'm seeing you in another past conversation. I'm not seeing how to add people who aren't me just. So I see a little hamburger menu up here. It says people. It says add people. Find people. I type in your name. I'm not seeing it appear to be able to add it. You sure the link's not working? It worked for you before, I think. Do you have another device that you could use? Like a computer or something? That might help. Um, but yeah, I'm looking on. Yeah, it should do that. It should open Chrome. Hangouts works best in Chrome or Chromium. As much as I love Firefox, Hangouts just will not cooperate with me in it. Whoops. I am looking for a wireless keyboard, a wireless mouse. All these wires are getting annoying for me right now. I wanted to have like a clicky clacky keyboard. Everyone else had one. I wanted to click and clack with everybody else, sound like a geek, sound like I'm cool. But I've kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of played that out right now. And the keyboard I got works great for games and stuff. Because I don't feel like I'm going to break it when I'm playing my Doom or something. Problem is, it is really, really loud. Sometimes if the baby's sleeping, I think the keyboard wakes him up and whatnot. So right now I'm on my laptop's keyboard to keep it quiet. But I do like to have an external one. Also, I'm finding the 1080p on a 15-inch screen can be hard to see from a distance. Maybe I'm just getting old or something, but um Qualys, I did used to use Mac. For a while I I used Norton because Comcast gave it to us with the package, but it never picked up anything, and it just bogged my system down to like no to like inexcusable level. So I ended up getting rid of it. At least back then I did. Um, I would run an antivirus. I think Clam is available for Mac, and I want to say Sophos is too. I would just to. I mean, you can never be too safe. And they said one of the things that you would want to do is to specifically scan for Windows viruses, because while an executable won't affect your Mac or your Linux machine, um, it can use your machine as like a carrier. And the next thing you know, it infects some other Windows computer on the network. And so um, we have to look out for our Windows brothers and sisters. Hmm. Hmm. Avira. Never heard of it. It's interesting. I do have Clam installed on my Arch system here. Um, just because it's free. Sophos isn't available in like the regular. I have this thing where I try to install software through the regular channels of a distro. So just because if it doesn't work, it's easier to get rid of it if I install it through Pacman or Yay or something. So I won't use Sophos because it's not available through the regular channels. But I do have Clam AV, and I do have a firewall installed, but I don't think it's enabled right now, because when it is, it just complicates a lot of things. But I do have some security measures on my system. I mean, it's not encrypted. It's a regular ext4 disk and whatever part format. There's nothing special, but I do try to keep myself safe, at least to an extent. Chris Titus did a video on why he hates free antiviruses for Windows, and I thought it was kind of odd because I used to use back in my Windows days, I used to use on the free version of Malwarebytes. That was pretty decent. I used something called Spybot, which I hear got pretty bad over the years, but at least back then it was pretty good. It I would run those first Malwarebytes to get rid of whatever virus was on the computer at the time, and then Spybot to fortify it. Um, haven't had to use anything like that on my Linux system yet. Um, but I do have like I said, I do have a firewall installed, and I do have what's it called? Clam AV. It's like a Vera free security suite for Windows. Um, the only thing that would keep me from installing something like this would be that because it's like a free version and there's like the paid versions, I've come to expect endless ads within the free version to try to get me to upgrade and stuff. And I find that to be extremely annoying. But that's just me. That's just my preference. That's one of the reasons I got away from Windows. The Windows scene was to um, like I found like every single app wanted to install a toolbar onto my web browser. Everything wants to, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, most tech savvy people are at least. I mean, you want to know what the best antivirus is? It's it's common sense. The best antivirus is common sense. Whether you're on Mac, Windows, or Linux, it's just common sense. Just don't click things that you don't know what they are. Don't click things you don't trust. Don't visit shady websites. Oh boy, do we gotta? I'm not gonna say your name, but hello. Mm, hope that's not a troll. Might be. That name alone will probably get me demonetized. Just because someone had that name in my chat. Although I'm not monetized and I'm not looking to get monetized. But no, like I just try to like be like common sense. I have a lot of ad blockers, a lot of pop-up blockers on my browsers. And I think one of the things you want to be careful with too is yeah, um yeah, buddy. I mean, I don't know where you came from, but that's a little off. I mean, it might just be a troll. Yeah, that's gonna that's gonna get you. That's gonna that's gonna I'm gonna remove those messages. Just like um oh, sorry, Qualls. I was aiming for his message. That was my fault. Um yeah, I'll make you a moderator there for now. If he continues that, don't be afraid to block that dude. Yeah, okay, buddy. You're gone. Put user in. Alright, I timed him out for now. Not sure how to. Um, yeah, that's something I really gotta think about.
Yo, Benjamin, how you doing?
Oh, Ben Fitzpatrick, how you doing? Ben too.
Good. Yeah, Mr. Gentoo. How
Mr.
you
J.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So we're having some arch chat, huh?
Um, any kind of chat. Um,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna check out arch. You know, I already made the vanilla arch USB, and I don't know. You know what I found very interestingly, speaking of Gentoo, was I was trying a ZFS install just to play around with, of Gentoo, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is ridiculous. This
really.
like vanilla gen, yeah. I mean, ZFS is such a pain in the butt, I tell you. I mean, I tried it. It didn't even boot when I was done. I'm like, I just went through all this work for nothing. Because you see, you have to use a precompiled kernel, and you have to actually make your own kernel through it. add. This is only if you want to add NVMe disks, which
Yeah.
I was following the tutorial on, and I'm like, but you can still use Gen kernel, but you have to use a very specific kernel that Fear Bliss, Jonathan Vasquez, uses, and also you have to use Bliss MFS in order for them to work.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
really a pain in the neck, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just do vanilla Gentoo if I'm going to do it.
I mean, Gentoo's not bad. It's kind of, I mean, to me, the instructions are a lot easier to follow than even the Arch Wiki, but it's just time consuming.
The time really takes
Yeah.
away. And as I was saying in Ricky's stream earlier, I'm getting a Mac Pro 4 cores per processor, and so it's going to be a total of 8 cores across 2 CPUs. So,
Damn.
yeah, Gen 2 on that thing, plus the 12 gigs of RAM, ooh, I'll be flying.
Well, I got
Yeah.
in this machine, I got an i7 with eight threads on it, right?
Yeah.
It's got 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
And it's still like the compile times just we're still kind of
Laggy. Yeah.
And I set up the make.conf exactly the way the Gentoo wiki said to, you know.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't set it to the number of cores you have plus 1, it ain't going to work that well. That's a very common factor with Gentoo. And I always suggest to people, and I'm going to suggest this to Ricky when I'm helping in his live stream with Sergey next month, you have to set the number of cores plus 1 to your CPU if you're installing Gentoo natively. If you don't, it'll compile super well. It just won't. I mean, that's a very common problem that people make. And
there is a file to make your AUR helper do that in Arch too.
Makepackage.com, yes.
Yeah, and I had to get rid of that line though, because what happened was if let's say I tried to install a package from the AUR, and it had a dependency from the AUR as well. Well, I would try to compile them both at the same time and tell me, well, I can't install both of them. You're going to break this dependency. And I was like, oh, crap. So I had to say, okay, it's got to compile one at a time. Otherwise, it's going to spit out.
Multi-threading on Arch versus Gentoo, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Yeah. But even with that, it's like, you know, I mean, the compile times on Arch for me is not terrible.
No.
The things that take the longest for me are Doomsday Engine. That took a while to compile. GZ Doom could take a while. But other than that, it's pretty decent compile times. Yeah, I mean, my laptop, I'm thinking about getting more RAM for it at some point because it has 8 gigs of RAM right now, which is fine. And I just put in a PCI Express NVMe SSD, so I'm thinking of trying Gentoo on it again. And, you know, just seeing how well it compiles now, because I have a SSD that's like the size of a stick of gum, if not a little bit smaller. And it runs pretty quickly, you know, just because I've tested Arch on it. It booted just fine, and pretty fast. But the problem with it was I installed the Optimus Manager and I broke it by accident. Oh, I removed it from the user bin folder. Totally broke it. But then again, I was tired at night and I did it by mistake. And NVIDIA Optimus on my Arch system is a dream. The Optimus Manager. I tried it on Gentoo. It did not go very well. It was the only way that I could get because in order for my system to what's the word I'm looking for? In order for the system to recognize my the extended display over here, right? I got the built-in display, then I got an extended monitor here. This is a second monitor. The only way to get it to recognize that is if it boots into NVIDIA, with the NVIDIA card. I assume because NVIDIA controls the VGA, but yeah, that's how it works on my laptop. Is the NVIDIA controls the external display, the HDMI, and the etc. And then because you know as well as I do, being a fellow Optimus user, that
It's a pain in the neck in Linux sometimes. It really is.
Oh my gosh. I have a feeling that any other distro, that's the only thing that's keeping me on Arch right now is that Optimus Manager. Like
Yeah,
I would try other distros, but like I can't
yeah.
find like let's say you
Well, there's a GitHub page that has NVIDIA Prime on it, but it doesn't work as good.
hmm. Yeah,
Just
that's the
that's
thing too, is that like I
yeah,
was saying about like when I was looking at Linux Mint earlier, um
yeah.
I was like, it's not my cup of tea. I don't think it should go, but the things that I would find difficult would be like certain things that,
VPN management. Yeah, they're
yeah,
it's not a great package manager, unfortunately.
no, no, I
I
don't,
mean, in comparison to things like Emerge and Pac-Man, it's not. It's
yeah,
a nightmare. I mean,
yeah.
I know it's not the greatest thing.
I found my least favorite package manager has to be apt, and it's a it's a my second to least favorite is a close second is EO Peak Solus's package manager.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is like it seems easy to use, it seems easy to get what I need done with it, but I find that the output of apt and ELPKG to be sloppy at best. Like it's not telling me clearly what it's doing. I can't figure it out for the life of me. And I found the documentation for apt to be quite scattered, and like I couldn't really, when I was trying to learn it, I couldn't really figure out how to do what I wanted it to do. And Pac-Man is all right there on the Arch wiki, telling me exact, or on the man page. It's,
Or whatever. Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
Zipper, like even Zipper, DNF, those things
Like that.
they output clearly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And like that's a big deal for me. As aesthetics, it's kind of a, maybe it's like a shallow thing for me, but like I want to know what the package manager is doing. And like
Yeah. And that's one thing that I love about Gentoo is that you can watch watch what it's doing. I mean, it's so cool.
yeah, I mean I do love Portage. Portage is like
It's a very powerful, very exciting package manager. But the problem with it is it's slow.
yeah, that's the only thing keeping me from using Gentoo is the compile times.
Yeah.
That, and I'm kind of used to System D at this point. I know I'm gonna
Yeah. Well, you
unclean,
can
but
enable System D on Gentoo, but it's a little bit more work.
yeah, when I installed Gentoo, the reason I didn't go System D was because I found the documentation for it wasn't as extensive or clear,
No.
and it doesn't seem to be as well supported as
Yeah.
the other.
Well, there's a guy on his website. He's got a pretty detailed MacBook guide for Gentoo, but it only explains how to enable some of the services. And I've been thinking about doing a Gentoo guide one of these days. I just haven't had the time or the gumption to get around to it.
Yeah, I mean, a while back I did a video on how to install Arch on a UEFI system because there's not a lot of documentation on that or a lot of videos. Now there are, but at the time when I made it, it was like few and far between. Like it was everybody, okay, I'm going to install Arch on a virtual machine, but it's a BIOS virtual machine, and if you're trying to go by that guide to install it on your UEFI system, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to say, I don't know if you've ever watched his videos, but Meshi has a very good EFI guide. He really does.
Yeah.
And his awesome configs, they're so amazing. But the problem is, you literally have to watch his video every time you want to set it up.
Wow. Well, the guide that I used was a channel by the name of Glorious Eggroll.
Oh, that guy's amazing when it comes to Arch and to gaming.
Yeah. Like he was the only one I could find at that time with a guide of a clear guide on how to install it on a UEFI system. It worked. I don't use Grub. I just use the system deboot.
BootCTL. Yeah.
Yep. And it works just fine for me.
Have you ever watched LearnLinux.tv, Jay's videos?
Yeah, he just did a series on Arch Linux.
Yeah, and he actually even has a LVM tutorial as well.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is too.
but he's never done Gentoo.
That's because I don't think YouTube would allow that long of a video to go up. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
unless he does it in parts.
I was trying. I was trying to install Gentoo on this one because
Yeah,
what I did was I pulled out my the Arch hard drive and my storage
put in
hard drive.
another one.
I put another one in the bay, the caddy, whatever. And I
Yeah,
tried to
the
install,
Optibay. Yeah,
and I tried to record it as I did it, pointing a webcam at the screen, let my other laptop record it, and it just was taking too long. It was I couldn't. It just wasn't going to happen for me like that.
yeah. I mean, recording Gentoo, even Das Rager, the great Gentoo nutball, said, it's a hard thing to record.
But I tell you what, I learned a lot when I was going through compiling the kernel because
Yeah, LFS is even worse.
yeah, I can
Linux from
imagine.
scratch is even worse. That I've done it multiple times. Every time I do it, I learn something more, just like I do with Gentoo. But getting a package manager on that thing, not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, at least Gentoo comes with the package manager. Portage, emerge, whatever. I think one of the issues I heard was that they write in Portage in Python, and so it's as it's going. I mean, the reason they do it is so people could read the code because it's an interpreted language. But I'm not going to get anything out of that because I'm not a coder. I don't know a lick of code at all.
Yeah, I don't like to code either.
And it's just, and from what I understand, it's got to interpret the scripts as it's compiling the software, and that's one of the reasons why it's so slow.
Yeah, LFS is a nightmare. I mean, you have no package, you have all the dependencies manually. Oh my god, it's a nightmare. That's all there is to it.
Oh, hello there, lovely lady. Hope that's not a troll. I got one earlier, and I made a Qualys their mod because like if I'm gonna be getting troll after troll after troll, I can't be monitoring the chat all the time.
Well, if you want, I can help.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind being a moderator, I'm seriously thinking.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, Kurt's doing a good job.
Yeah,
That's fine, not a problem.
I mean, hey, the more the merrier, really.
Yeah, sure, man. Not a problem. She says she's not a troll. Thank God.
Good. Hello. Do you use Linux? Or are you
Windows, Mac, or whatever? Yeah, anything's open, but it's
whatever?
Yeah, I'm just hanging here, playing SwiftWare on Windows. I'm eventually planning to move this machine to either Arch or Gentoo. Yeah, I haven't decided between the two yet.
I mean, the more that I use Arch too, and this is like personal preference for me, the more that I use it, the more I'm starting to see how rolling release is the way. It's like, for better or for worse, I think it's the way the future is going to go.
Yeah, agreed.
And like I did kind of put my 2 cents in on what I think about Linux Mint, dying. Like I don't think it should go. Like it's not.
I don't either, because it's a good distro. It has a lot of positive features, and it has really a better Ubuntu for newbie users.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is the package manager. That's the only gripe I have about it.
Yeah, I do not like apt. But like I like the way Linux Mint makes it so that you never have to use the command line if you don't want to. But at the same time, that kind of makes it tough for me if I'm trying to maintain someone else's system. Like I'm not like. I mean, like there's a reason why I try to put like if your machine can handle it. If you're new to Linux, I'll put like Manjaro on it. Like just because I'm more used to the Arch family, if you will.
Mm.
And if I'm going to be maintaining it, it's got to be something that I know well.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm gonna help somebody, I will say,
And I try to steer them away from Ubuntu just because like I don't like how in bed Amazon is with Canonical.
no, I know.
And if
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I get they're their sponsor, giving them money, what have you. But the problem with Ubuntu is they've baked it so far into the operating system. It's like, oh my god.
yeah,
And I don't like app port either. The thing where you report bugs. I mean, this is a well-tested version. You shouldn't have a freaking, a freaking
yeah.
beta tester program baked into the thing. I mean, get rid of that. Not
Well,
on like daily builds, nothing like that. But I mean, it's a freaking final version. You shouldn't have that tool enabled in there. I mean, my gosh.
I mean Windows has that, doesn't it? Like if something crashes, it'll say report this to Microsoft, but I
Yeah,
don't.
but only on a thing that completely screws your computer.
But I don't think it ever gets reported to Microsoft.
No, it does not. And
No,
that's what bugs me about Windows is that none of their bugs, unless you go on the freaking Windows 10 forums, which is like a troll infested place.
I've never really been to a Microsoft forum. I've been to Apple forums when I used to run Mac,
Mhm.
and like I found a way to become like them. Like I'm not gonna buy a Mac. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a piece of glass. I'm gonna put the Arch logo on the back of my ThinkPad. I'm gonna make sure it lights up like the Apple does behind the MacBook Pros, and I'm gonna go sit in a coffee shop and just shout, "By the way, I use Arch," at everybody in the coffee shop using Macs to see how they
Yeah,
like
that
it.
would be funny. And I heard that with the next version of XFCE, there's, and I've tested this and I have seen it, they finally have proper IDPI support with XFCE
That's
because
good.
they're fully transitioning to GTK3 and,
That's good too.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
that's what.
yeah, because they've been using JDK2 and JDK3 mixed for so long,
Mhm.
but now they're finally giving you the option inside of the settings app to run high DPI support.
That was one of my biggest gripes with XFCE was that if I ran, like, let's say if you're running Manjaro or XFCE, and
Yeah.
it comes with PAMAC pre-installed as this
Yeah.
graphical package manager.
Yeah.
It's a GTK3 app, and it looks foreign on an XFCE system. I'm sorry, but it does. It doesn't look like it belongs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Pamac on XFCE, it looks weird. I mean, I'd rather just go in the command line, download what I need, call it a day. But without it, I mean, I can get by on Arch without a graphical GUI for packages. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Sure, it makes sense for a newbie who's running Arch, but I mean, for a guy who's used Arch for years and who can install without the handbook, which is me, I can install Arch with my eyes closed. But either way, you know, I mean,
Well,
dude, I have the freaking handbook for Arch memorized.
I can't do it without the handbook because I know myself, and I will miss like one tiny little, incredibly
Tiny little
important
problem.
detail. So I do like to have it there, like at least
Yeah,
on
I
my
don't
phone.
even need it. I mean, unless I forget something or I need to look up that one thing. Oh, sure, I'll pull up the guide, but 90% of the time, I don't even need it.
And I'm sure everybody who's installed Arch and does it on a regular basis, they have their own way of doing it.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I just usually, unless I'm doing an LVM installation, I can do it with my eyes closed.
well,
LVM, not so much.
I couldn't do it on this one just because of the Nvidia. Like that was a pain in the butt to get that working.
Yeah, the NVIDIA driver. Yeah.
You gave me
Yeah,
a regular like integrated Intel UEFI system, and I can install Arch like that on the
yeah,
system.
like that. Yeah, but the problem is that Optimus crap. Oh, that's a hindrance. Yeah.
It's a struggle on any distribution. I looked at on other distros to see what kind of tools they have. It doesn't. It looks like the easiest distribution to get the Optimus working is Arch, really, and it's just because of the Optimus manager.
Yeah, they just don't have that in other distros, which really bugs me.
And so, like, if this ever breaks, if this Arch ever breaks on me, and I gotta reinstall, guess what? I'm putting Manjaro on it, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
just get.
yeah. Because redoing Arch from scratch is a pain.
And sometimes I feel lazy. You know, real life gets in the way sometimes. It just,
Want to get it up and going.
yeah.
Yeah,
Manjaro is great for that because it brings
Arch to new people. Yeah.
yeah, like I think this the centralization of all the software and the fact that it takes care of like I when I first started using Arch I was impressed because it was
Yeah.
the only distribution that I never ran into a dependency issue in.
Yeah, it works, and plus, it's very rarely going to break. I mean, sure, it's pre-compiled art, but I've done that with Hackman before, and it works. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Ricky, the link is in the chat if you want to join.
I'll repost it for him.
Yeah.
Here, Ricky.
Yeah, I'll get you in the chat. I can make you a mod once you pop up in there.
Yeah, him too.
Oh yeah,
I'll paste it for him. Hold on. There, Ricky.
add my.
There you go, man.
Whoops. Yeah, I'll show it. I'll make you a mod too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I did that right.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it for me. You can do it for him.
Yeah, because I mean, hey, I caught a troll today, so that means I hit the big times. Once you start getting
Yeah,
trolled.
you did. I never got that big when I was live streaming. You see, I had to was streaming Apple keynotes far too long without any commentary going through it, and unfortunately, so I had to be. So I didn't know to stop, and unfortunately, I banned from live streaming.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I can't live stream anymore because it got disabled. So,
I mean, when it comes to Apple stuff, like I think Mac OS is superior to Windows. Like,
yes, it is.
hands down.
Mm.
It's just that the hardware, the price of it, you're not getting what you're paying for with the hardware. I can get comparable. I can get comparable specs or better for cheaper.
Yeah, but the problem with the Hackintosh is it's not reliable.
No, so I mean, I just get like this ThinkPad got 32 gigs of RAM with an i7 in it. The NVIDIA Quadro's got 2 gigs of RAM on it, and for the entire setup, 32 gigs of RAM, drive caddy, extra hard drive, and all. It only cost me $550. Probably
That's not bad.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes,
Ricky.
Okay.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm
We
on
were
my.
just talking about random shit.
Yeah, I'm officially on my Linux Mint GNOME setup right now.
Awesome.
You got GNOME on Linux Mint?
Yeah, you wanna see it, Ben?
Yeah, why not?
Let's take a look, man.
Okay, let me go to the screen share.
I've seen it, Benjamin. It looks amazing. Look at that.
Oh, here, let me.
Yeah. I mean, Ricky's. It looks dead on like Windows for crying out loud. Hold up.
You got Doom 3 going on there. Nice.
Yeah, basically I got an extension for desktop icons right here. I got LX Terminal working on compiling my third desktop environment, which is going to be Lumina from BSD.
Dang.
I also have PCMan FM as my main file system because I need something lightweight. On Google Chromium is right there. And this web browser is the one I'm talking to you guys right now called Discentor.
Oh man.
Discentor is a brand new web browser. It just released not long ago. It is based off it is Chromium based, and it's also based off of Brave.
Wow.
So it works with Hangouts. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
it's
good.
a
I'm
it's
looking for an alternative.
Yep, it's extremely privacy centric. It's got HTTP everywhere built into it. uBlock Origin works with it. Decentralize and Privacy Badger work with it as well.
Nice.
Wow. That's a good alternative to Chrome. I may even install that when I install Gentoo here in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, other than on Google Chromium, this is by far another choice if you're looking for privacy and security. I recommend Discentor.
I actually
Right.
installed the center during when Tom from Switched was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I forget where I got it from though. Either the AUR or
Yeah. Yeah, I'm planning to do that soon. Ricky is Gentoo install with LVM encryption. Actually,
Yeah.
it'll probably be Arch actually because I found a nice YouTube guide on how to do it, and the guy actually shows that he has his home folder on a separate drive.
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do too.
Yeah, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with encryption, and he actually shows how to mount at boot time both drives.
That's good. That's good.
By the way, anybody who's interested, the center is available in the AUR.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, it's available in pretty much any distro you could think of. I mean, it's there. But yeah, I mean, I've been using Discentor for a couple days now. I mean, it's really nice. I like it. It's compatible with all Chrome-based extensions you could think of. The only problem I don't like about it is you can't drop CRX files into the extensions folder because for some reason Discentor has blocked that function off.
That's silly.
But other than that, I mean, I can get uBlock Origin from its GitHub page. Decentralize has its own little area too. I mean, I'm trying really hard to not get things from the Google Web Store unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I will say, by the way, Benjamin, I found a replacement for Andragos since Andragos kicked the bucket a few weeks ago.
Arch Labs.
What the fuck did ever do to Antergos that they had to kick it?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, the developers of Andragos said that they can no longer keep the distro going, so they're going to I believe they're going to leave it up there for anybody to snatch up the code of it.
Well, it ain't going to be me. I know how to build Arch ISOs, but not to that level.
I mean, Antergos, from what I understood, had a lot of problems. Like, a lot of people couldn't get it installed.
The Chinchi installer was a piece of garbage.
Yes, it was.
I mean,
Stingy was buggy, and it always updated every time you booted it up. It was just a cluster crap. It really was.
If they would have went with Calamaris, they would have been better off.
Yeah, but they didn't think to.
Nope, and because of that little error, Antergos is dead, and basically Arch Labs is basically replacing it as an alternative if you don't want to install Arch Linux yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So Ricky, speaking of which, I made you and Ben moderators.
All right, thank you.
Because I got hit with a couple of trolls earlier, and
yeah. Well, any troll that tries to walk in here, we'll just kick them out. And if they don't stop, we'll just ban them.
Exactly. I mean, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. I got the troll bazooka ready to go, and the caddy trunk is open too.
Yeah. Anyone who tries to walk in here and cause issues, we'll just ban them if they
Mhm.
become a real problem.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna just throw a lion in the tiger chest. Just
Oh, perfect. Okay, so Lumina is done. So one last command: sudo make install. Enter.
you've learned from me, Ricky. I will say that you've moved on.
You said Lumina is the name of it?
The Lumina desktop
Yeah.
environment. It is exclusively under the BSD license.
Ah, so it was designed for BSDs.
Yeah, but it's been ported to Linux. Debian and Ubuntu are compatible with it, and so is Arch.
See,
In fact, Arch has most of the code base of Lumina in the AUR.
yeah, it looks like I'm on the desktop environment wiki for Arch. It's in the AUR. I have it's just a personal preference of mine. I just refuse to have core pieces of my system pulled in from the AUR.
Mm-hmm.
So like desktop manager, display manager, desktop
Yeah.
environment. I refuse to have that from the AUR.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, guys? This may sound a little strange, but KDE4 is still in the AUR.
Wow.
I ain't kidding.
Wait. Katie, I thought that thing died years ago.
No, Ricky, it's still in the AUR. You can still download the KDE4 suite from within the AUR.
Doesn't
So,
doesn't Slackware still use it?
Yeah, Slackware still uses KDE4 as well as Arch. You can download it from within the AUR.
I mean, nothing's going to work in it, but I mean, I think there's
Well, I actually was able to get it to download and compile, but you have to do a lot of trickery to make it work. But you can actually make it work.
if I'm correct, isn't Slackware still compatible with GNOME 2? It's just you got to compile it into the system.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
But
I can't believe
you-
KDE4 is still alive.
my whole thing about it though is if I want GNOME 2, I'll just use Mate.
yeah. Well, there actually is an overlay for Gentoo where you can get GNOME 2, but the has to be ported to the new Python. And Ricky's seen me do that, haven't you, Ricky?
Yeah, that was not easy.
It was a pain. I mean,
Mhm.
to add a couple of things to GNOME to actually get it to work. I was like, oh my god! And you were with me through the entire process that night, weren't you?
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Yes, it was.
And I even had GDM working, you know.
So KDE4, since it's still in the AUR, my question is KDE4 still getting updated?
No, they're orphan packages, but you can still download them.
Oh,
At
okay.
the package build to point to newer links from the KDE source page,
Mm-hmm.
but it still works. I mean, however, it's a lot easier to do in Gentoo because I mean, you know, it's all in a specific repo with updated packages, so you don't have to
Okay.
actually go and edit the package build and that sort of thing.
Okay. So basically with KDE4 with the AUR, it's decent at
Not
the
a-
most.
Yeah, it still works, but you have to edit the package profiles in order to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not as easy as just cloning a repo from Gentoo. But yeah.
Yeah.
And there's actually there's actually documentation on funtoo.org to actually how to do it.
I see.
Which I might actually make a video on how to do that.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, I've gotten used to KDE5 Plasma. I mean, Plasma's gotten so much better.
Yes, it has. And there is the repo. And if anyone's wondering, the repo for KDE4 is called KDE Sunset. And my friend Dustcracker made a video about it. Although I'm gonna say, with the more and more distros losing support for KDE4, it is not recommended to use KDE Sunset as a crutch.
Mm.
To hold on to KDE4.
Aren't there any distros left that are still using KDE Ford as a repository as an optional environment?
Other than Slackware and OpenBSD, I don't know. I mean, I really can't think of anything other than maybe BSD. I mean, those I think are the only two open source platforms that are running KDE4.
Mm-hmm. And since Slackware is compatible with RPM packages, that means Slackware can get some desktop environments onto it that are exclusive to Fedora.
Yes. Now, I actually went to the GNOME website. They still have the source code for GNOME too, but the problem is I just don't know how to get that to compile within Slackware if I run it to Slack.
I'm pretty sure that that GNOME 2 source code would be super easy to compile on Ubuntu.
Yeah, but the problem is you'd have to get all the dependencies and all that other junk. Which I've tried to do it. It just didn't take because the software packages were too new.
I'm installing.
Yeah.
I'm taking the gamble. I'm installing Lumina.
You're nuts, Benjamin.
It's already done on my end. I mean, the terminal pretty much gave me a completion.
So if the chat just crashes out, you know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, basically I'm just looking for any other desktop environment to try out that I have not used yet. I've used I've used XFCE so many times. I know that one like the back of my hand. I've used LXDE during my time using Sparky Linux.
I wonder if I sent you the known source code if you could do it.
If it's compatible with Ubuntu, it's possible.
It should be.
I've been hooked on my i3 for like over a year now.
Yeah. Hey, Benjamin, I needed to ask you a question about iFree. I do plan to get iFree on Ubuntu at some point, but the one big problem is I no longer have the file you sent me so long ago to where I put it's basically your iFree configuration file that you sent me a long time ago. I don't have it anymore.
Oh, I might still have it. If anything, did I email it to you?
I think. Let me check. It's either you emailed it to me or you sent it to me.
You know, Benjamin, I have never seen your i3 set up before.
I have.
Well, brace yourselves.
You really should do like a video on how you created it.
Well,
let me take a quick look at this.
It's nothing really special.
Bessie, that's cool.
Oh! Wait a minute. There it is. I found it. Yeah, it's still there.
Right now, what the share screen is doing is stretching out both my monitors. I haven't figured out how to get it to focus on one or the other.
Dude, you've got a lot of widgets inside of your panel there.
Yeah, most of them I stole from Luke Smith. Not gonna lie. Some of them I did myself. Some of them I tweaked a little bit to make it work with my system.
Oh wow!
But the first one up here displays my kernel.
Yeah.
The second one is the weather app. It uses click it. It uses Witter, WTTR.
Witter, yeah.
The console based weather thing. Got
weather
the volume. You can scroll up, scroll down, and if I click it, it opens a thing called I think that's Pulse Mixer. It's a console based Pulse Audio
volume control.
Yeah. Oh wow!
It's a lot snappier than Pavu control, I have to say, and it's a little bit easier for me to use than that.
That's cool, man.
This one here displays my RAM, how much I have left. I have
Yeah.
28 gigs left out of 32 gigs.
Yeah.
This one
Now,
displays.
if I clone this, I would have to change that to 8 gigs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'll automatically detect how much you have.
Oh.
Cool.
Um, this one displays my local IP address, the signal
Alright.
signal strength for my wireless connection. This one's
Yeah.
my public IP address. Don't look.
I'm not looking. I can't even see it.
I can't even hardly see it. It's so dinky and small.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know some people might be able to do the
It's
public.
too tiny. I can't even read it.
Um,
Mm, I
What's
know,
next to
I
that?
know, I know what you were saying, Benjamin. You're saying you know that some people use FileZilla and just boom, put it in there.
yeah. The next one displays I think the amount of
Mm-hmm.
CPU that's being used. Looks like I got 30% using. This
Okay.
is currently
Mhm.
compiling Lumina. Ignore that.
Mm.
That terminal. Matter of fact, I'll move that to a.
Different space. Yeah.
Um, this is my first hard drive. The SSD displays how much is being used, how much is free. This one's my other hard drive where my home folder is directly mounted to a terabyte hard drive. Um, I have two hard drives in this system. One of them is the SSD where I installed my operating system to. The secondary is a 240 gig solid state drive. And the
Nice.
second one is a terabyte regular magnetic hard drive where I have my home folder directly mounted to it. This one, obviously, the battery. Um, this displays the country that I'm in. This one displays the city, or tries to. I'm in West Springfield, not Holyoke, but it's close.
Yeah. That's close enough.
Then the clock, and then the regular system tray.
Yeah. Cool. Now, I hate to say it, but if I cloned that, I would need reminders of all those programs that you showed us. So what I might do, Benjamin, is email you asking for that config and a list of apps that you have
Well,
that you can just.
these
Mhm.
are all they're all i3 blocks, right?
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
let's see. I run Ranger is my default file manager now.
Yeah, Ranger. Yeah, I've heard of that.
And I remember Ranger. I've just never fully used it before. I don't even know
You know
how.
what? I'm
I don't
gonna
even know how it
I'm gonna
works.
get up a notes app and actually write all this down so I don't forget it.
So, how does Ranger work actually?
Yeah.
Um, basically,
Mm,
I just use arrow keys to go back and forth between directories, go up and
Okay.
down. If I wanna, let's say. By the way, I was gonna show you my i3 blocks. All the scripts that you see in the panel there are here in this directory here.
Okay.
Holy smokadocious.
Most of them, like I said, I stole from Luke Smith's GitHub page. So I mean, you could probably find
Wow.
most of them there. Um, this
Wow.
is
So a lot of your stuff you just forked from him.
I wouldn't say forked. It's more like copied and pasted.
Oh, so you just copy and pasted his stuff into your own
Yeah.
folder.
I do have a mail script here that I tried to use. The issue that I had with it was
Yeah.
I have a Gmail account
Yeah.
and I don't
Yeah.
maintain it that well. And there's like 20,000 unread emails. And when I tried to use
Wow.
his script to sync it to NeoMut, it just would not work. There's too much.
That's a drag.
It can't get it all. So
What do you do now?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can't get his script to work for that.
Ricky wanted to see how Ranger worked. So let's say that I want to open up a file, right? So a good one would be, let's say, an archived file right here.
Okay.
You hit R for rifle, and that gives you a list of programs at the bottom there that you can open it with. and you can even open like videos externally with VLC or SM Play or whatever you got.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I want to extract that. Well, I hit the number that I want. Number one will extract it. It extract it for me right in the same directory. And well, most of these are just mods for Doom and crap. The duct tape for Quake 4 puts flashlights on all the weapons that you got, not just the machine guns and all that. So
Okay.
I got that, and I even got it to um, display images.
Oh
Ooh.
wow.
Cool.
It's kind of buggy in certain terminals. It might like wig out, but
What terminal are you using anyway? URXBT?
it's a Kitty, KITTY,
Kitty. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that one.
and I went through a lot of terminals before I chose this one, and the reason I chose it was because the config file was the easiest for me to read. So I was
Yeah.
able to edit the theme and the transparency a lot easier.
Let's
And it didn't force me to use a border. So like those are like my only two requirements. And so that's kind of why I'm using this.
I see.
I'm,
Now, how do you copy and paste like certain files from one directory to another?
okay, so let's say I want to copy
a picture.
I want to copy this. So I would hit Shift V to send it into visual mode. So it's like Vim at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Hit Y for yank, then Y again to copy it. And then let's say I want to paste it right into my home folder. Just hit P and paste. And should be there it is.
Cool.
Wow. Okay.
And you can even
Yeah,
you can even open up different tabs.
Yeah.
So like see I got
That would take me a while to get used to that.
it took me a while too, but like honestly, it's like when it comes to this kinds of things, what I fall in love with is the speed of them, and so
Yeah.
that's what really forces me to get used to them. And like I do have PC Man FM on this as a fallback in case like I bork this or something. But
Yeah.
this has been my main file manager for a while now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ranger, yeah. Personally, I would just use PC Man FM because that's what I'm used to as a GUI files.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well, and plus, PCMan FM is one of the most lightweight file managers you can even have on a Linux machine.
Right.
yeah.
Even Sergey would say that.
Second to Funar for XFCE.
Didn't mean to-
Right. Right. And you know, when I do my Arch build on this, I'm actually thinking of using i3 or Awesome in my setup.
Well, I mean i3, I honestly thought that i3 was going to be a little side project for me. I was going to use it till I broke it, then run back to KDE or something. But
No,
it was a snappiness of it,
they kept you going, yeah.
the simplicity of it that just like I was like, you know, I could use this.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. But yeah, yeah, Benjamin. After the show, if you don't mind sharing me an apps list and the config, that would be marvelous.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll hit you up on Hangouts after this or something.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I like that. That looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, I might. I'm actually planning to do plain vanilla Arch just with Lux.
Now, what other window managers are you going to look into in terms of Arch Linux? Because there are a couple there are a couple window managers for Arch that have not been tried yet. Because I've looked on the list. Are you planning to? And this is I've checked this one out before, but I think it's been updated since then. I would advise checking out the Equinox desktop environment, the EDE. It's a window manager like desktop environment.
I might look at that. I've tried OpenBox.
Yeah, open box.
That one's my favorite. It is so fast to set up. I can have an open box setup within 5 to 10 minutes.
I do have one issue with OpenBox, and that issue is that every time I log into it, I never get any real work done because I always get caught up tinkering with it.
Hmm
I'm always like, here, let me move this over here. Let me change this. Let me change that. Let me change that. I'm like, oh, I logged in here to do something. I haven't done
And it
anything.
doesn't happen.
But like, no, I had fun tweaking it. My only issue, it's like an aesthetic thing, is I would like to be able to get rid of the top title bar, like the X and the like the way it is in i3. Like you see how I got no borders on my windows. Like I like that stuff.
Yeah, that's always the good thing.
Me-
Is that you have no window borders. Yeah.
These are all the unsupported desktop environments, but they are available. There's the Equinox desktop environment, Lyri, Lumina, Moksha from Bodhi Linux, which I do like Moksha. It's an interesting fork of the Enlightenment desktop environment. There's Pantheon from Elementary OS, the Shell, and Trinity.
Wow. Trinity isn't that the KDE 3 fork?
Yep.
Yes, it's like what Mate is to GNOME 2.
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
William. Welcome back.
So essentially, KDE 3 is still around, but in the form of Trinity.
I never tried a Trinity desktop in my life.
I have through Q4 OS.
How was it, Ricky?
It was pretty nice.
I think I tried it through what's his name there. He sometimes shows up on the Big Daddy Linux. He's got a distribution that runs Trinity.
I can't remember his name.
But I tried it, and it was a strange distribution in the sense that it was an RPM distribution that ran apt.
RPM that ran.
That's
confusing.
I was like, that confused the crap out of me. I was like, well, I looked at it. I think
Yeah.
PC Linux OS, or it's
PC
a fork
Linux
of it.
OS for it.
Yeah. And if you go to DistroWatch, matter of fact, it'll tell you where it lists the package manager or package. It'll say RPM apt.
Yeah.
It'll say, wow.
So you have two package managers on the side of the game?
No. I think it runs apt, but instead of using deb packages, it runs RPMs. It's like, well,
That's weird.
That's a little Frankensteinish in like a confusing way. I was like, I don't think I could get used to something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, William. I put the link in the chat.
Yeah, there's a few, but other than that, I mean, there's a lot of options for art. I mean, it is possible to still build Unity, but the thing is, it's hardly even worth it.
It pulls in too much from Ubuntu for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Unity is. I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, GNOME Flashback is a very interesting environment. I mean, it's pretty much a remake of GNOME 2, but it's based around GNOME 3.
Yeah, it's GNOME 3 with the GNOME.
Mm-hmm. Cinnamon.
Actually, hang on, Ricky. Well, I'm actually thinking of trying GNOME Flashback when I install Arch as well.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because compiling GNOME 2, forget it.
Well, I mean,
I can see in the link that I gave you just a few minutes ago, Ricky, that it's a lot of work. Right?
Oh, you put the link in here?
I put the link in my I put the link in a private message on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sent you the link to the source code and several tar files that I would have to extract one, go to the other, extract one, go to the other, and it's just like, oh my god.
So basically, you would have to bunny hop from one to the other.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, it's redirecting him to the Play Store. I know how to take care of that. I had the same problem, but I figured it out. Basically, to resolve the issue, Benjamin, go to the Add People area, and you'll see that there is
I'll be right
a
back on my other laptop.
Hangout link already in there. You just copy and paste that one that's in the Add People area into the chat. That'll allow William to get in.
Okay, so I'm in the. I assume you mean the Hangouts through Chrome. So I hit the Hamburg menu. It says people.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say add people,
I'm back.
Yeah. You'll see a link.
okay, here, let me share a screen because I'm not sure that I'm seeing. what I'm
Okay. Yeah,
supposed to
share
do.
your screen. Yeah, that is not the one. Go to the video. Go to the Hangouts itself. Go to the Hangout screen that we're on right now. And if you just move over to the video, you'll see a little person icon to the left, where right where your the Hangout exit button is at the very top, the settings, the Wi-Fi, your camera. Yeah, go
Oh, I
that
see.
one.
So this link here.
That link right there will get William in here.
Okay, we'll try this one.
Okay, William. Benjamin put in the right link in there. Try that one.
I never knew this. Learning every day.
Yeah, I just found out about that link today.
I think he was trying to get me to find that earlier, but I thought he meant like in the actual Hangouts app itself. I wasn't finding it. So I was like, yeah, I feel stupid now.
I've had that happen on past streams with me before, and I just after I learned about it, I was like, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what are we gonna do when Hangouts dies? We're still figuring Hangouts out.
There's a
I
different
know.
plugin
Well,
that-
I've already figured out a service I will be using when Hangouts dies. Sadly, it can't be recorded over YouTube, so I would have to I would have to literally get everybody into the area and then record the thing manually. Because there's no record option with the service I will be using. It's called Frematalk. Serge told me about this service. It's a FOSS application for the web. Basically, Frematalk allows you to do a Hangouts like chat with a whole bunch of people.
Looks like that link didn't work for him either.
Let me see. I don't know what to say, but William, I don't
Actually,
know.
let
I
me paste
tried.
the link. I'll paste in the link that I pasted you.
Says Chrome on Android 5.1.1 on a Samsung Galaxy.
Try that link, William. If that's what doesn't take you in on your phone, I'm not sure what to tell you.
Is 5.1 still support?
I mean, that's.
I
the right
don't
link from
know.
this
I
Hangout.
don't keep up with Android developments.
Yeah. And I know that certain things are already getting Android Q on them.
Oh, I almost forgot to show off how I pimped out my Rofi configuration.
There you go.
Oh, you changed Rofi up a little bit?
Yeah, so
Isn't that your menu kind of thing?
yeah. So if I hit Mod D,
What's your
I
mod
got it.
key, by the way?
super key. So Windows
Oh yeah,
key.
your Windows key. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I hit Mod D, it gets me D menu and it shows like actual applications instead of like shell commands, like binaries. And I got it to display icons as well. If I hit Mod Shift D, it gets me the terminal command.
There he is.
How you doing, William?
Fine. I'm using Android.
So you
5.1.
found a way in here, William.
Yes, let me show you what the deal is with this whole thing.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Let me swap to my
Nope,
tablet.
he's still there, but
Okay, hold on. Can you see the camera?
Yes, William.
This is my Galaxy Tab A that is Samsung branded, but it uses Android Lollipop. But for some unknown reason, it always redirects to it always opens Chrome in a sequence. I'm wondering, why does this happen to me? On my Android Motorola Moto E5 with Android 8.0, it never does this. So watch.
Yeah.
You'll see the proof of concept. Right when I click that link that Ben sent, it does this. It opens Chrome, then it redirects me to the Play Store link. Then it automatically, when I tap Open in Play Store app, it automatically will send me to the Play Store. So something is really fishy here. And then it directs me to the Google Play Store.
we can see you, William, but we. Oh.
And it's installed on
Yeah,
this
so he
tablet.
goes in the Hangouts.
You can hit Open.
Okay.
Touch Open real quick. Okay, and then it does that, and then it leads me to nowhere except here.
Yeah, that.
What you want to hit is the top conversation. I think that's mine there, the top one.
Yeah, hit the top one, William.
See what that does.
Yeah, I mean, it still should not be doing that.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert at Android though, so I couldn't tell you.
I'm not either. But honestly, that might just be an incompatibility.
I don't know what to say either.
Looks like he dropped.
I could be wrong, but I think that's just a sign that Android.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're back.
For some strange reason, it has a habit of doing that. I don't know what is causing it to do redirects like that.
Are you using a custom ROM on that thing?
No, it's official.
Okay, well, Jelly Bean just maybe too out of support to run Hangouts.
It's Android 5.1.1, and this tablet was a 2016 model.
Right.
And I don't get why it has a habit of redirect.
Well, like I said, it might just be the fact that 5.1.1 is so old that it just doesn't work.
Anyway, guys, it just turned midnight for me. I gotta go get ready for bed, so I'll see you guys later. Okay.
Okay.
Look, my Android 8.0 Lollipop or Android 8.0 Oreo, it automatically launches Open Hangouts.
All right. Well, then, like I said, it might just be an incompatibility problem.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking because, that old of an Android OS, it just doesn't seem to like it.
Well, I mean, that's the way around it because Android Jelly Bean version 4.2 can no longer get Google Chrome updates anymore.
Yeah.
And it remains unknown.
Sure, it might run Chrome, but not a lot of the Chrome apps like Hangouts and things like that.
And I forgot that I shorted out my computer, shorted it out, so I no longer have a working desktop. So, oops.
It's 5 a.m. there. Where are you?
Who's that guy?
Qualis.
Oh, that's Kurt.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I luckily had a bad day with severe weather with a thunderstorm watch until 10, which expired very earlier than that, and a severe thunderstorm warning, so ouch.
Yeah, I'm not even working out, and I'm sweating in this room. It's not even funny.
Oh, I walked home in that humidity for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was drenched in sweat.
I do want to mention I tried Trinity on Ubuntu and PC Linux OS. PC Linux OS has a respin of Trinity. I knew that instantly.
Remember, I helped you do Trinity on Gentoo, William.
Yes, and that didn't work.
Yeah, Trinity and Gentoo it's just not ready.
Even Arch, it's a hard time getting an Arch and Gentoo and Slackware. Those three are a pain in the butt to get Trinity running.
Yeah.
So Debian is twice as easy as that.
Yeah.
Again?
Well, but you know what turned me off about Debian was I tried to install it,
Oh.
and I downloaded the regular ISO. I tried
Is
to.
that a Samsung washer?
What?
Ben?
Hmm?
A washer behind you?
Yes. Yes. So actually, it's a dryer, but
Oh,
yeah,
right. Got lucky. I guess that.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, William, are you still on Debian?
No, I no longer have a computer anymore, so I'm kind of stuck without a
What
computer.
happened to your computer?
Apparently, I kind of had a front faceplate break off, which broke the power button, and I tried to reattach and broke the power button inside the unit.
Oops.
Always breaking something.
That's how we learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you learn. This
It
way
was
you
actually
implement
a used computer from a thrift store anyway, so no doubt about it there.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
No.
that's sad for you, William. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Like I was saying, my issue with Debian was when I tried to boot it into my other machine over here, it gave me an issue with my Realtek. I think it's a Realtek wireless chipset, and it said because it was a proprietary driver or something, I had to go to the Debian website and download a specific firmware ISO just to get it to work with the Wi-Fi. And I
And
was
I hate to
done.
break it to you, but there's
Next.
a new. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. There's a Linux vulnerability involving FreeBSD servers, a Linux SAC vulnerability, and that got me scared.
I can imagine.
Yes, and there's also a RAM bleed vulnerability that affects also partially in Linux too because of the RAM in the computer. It affects Android devices.
No,
Yeah.
Androids are technically Linux, although a very
And I-
modified version.
And I read about it in the Hack 5 YouTube video called Threatwire that talked about Androids are vulnerable as well. There's also vulnerabilities in some Chinese phones that have malware that can somehow sniff or send data back or do something horribly wrong, I've learned.
Well,
So
it's a good thing I don't have any Chinese phones.
Yeah.
I learned that some phones have a piece of hidden ad malware in the background that are preloaded in the ROM that can't be removed unless you flash or do something to get it out.
Well, I mean, the concerns that we have with Chinese hardware and software are they're very reasonable because China has a long history of that. And if anybody wants to know, they should look at like how the Chinese treat their own people. You know, they're just into spying.
Oh yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I got to check the freaking thermostat. I'll be right back.
By the way, I hope Ben's not using I hope he's using a digital thermostat, not those mercury analog ones.
I don't know if I am.
Mm.
Well, the analog ones would have a label on it saying it has a mercury switch in it, but the digital ones don't.
I think our thermostats in my house that my parents use do have switches on them.
A mercury switch. Ew. 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 Ew.
Well, at least the
Wow.
one down here is electric. We got
Yeah.
electric heat down here, but I mean, it's the middle of summer. It's humid as heck. I'm not turning on the heat down here.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta turn on the cool.
By the way, Ben, what do you think about smart washing machines or dryers, like the dryer behind you?
I know nothing about it. It's belongs to my girlfriend's grandparents, whose house I
Right on that note, the washer and dryer. Okay, I wanted to mention that I'm scared of smart appliances or smart IoTs because those things are an entry point into cyber criminals' worlds.
Well, the one I give credit to this one. I don't have to stick my clothes in it like 50 times to get it dry. Well, sometimes if it like kicks it open or something, but it just detects when it's dry. So I mean,
Lately, I've been actually making videos about different YouTube issues just to help be more diverse in topics, I guess, rather than talk about
Yeah.
Linux all the time.
Well, I mean, it probably does run Linux at its core. Most things like that do.
How can you tell if an appliance runs a Linux-based thing if manufacturers don't specify it?
Well, we don't. I mean, it's more of an assumption just because that tends to be the kind of thing that people put Linux in.
Yeah.
Like if you got like a thermostat or something like that.
I mean, washing machines and appliances should use Linux. I mean, they can't use Windows. That'd be a bad idea.
Yes,
Yeah, no. I have to wait till it updates before I can do my laundry. That would be a pain.
Horribly wrong idea.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I need my work clothes running updates.
Yeah, bad idea. It's kind of like how Total West they puts jokes into different things, and I can't say much.
It's like no, you sit down. You go to work when I tell you to go to work. I need to run the updates.
My biggest question is to both y'all is what do y'all still think about being the Linux community, especially with DistroTube and others? Like, what is y'all's opinion?
Linux community. Well, that's a very controversial question, I would think.
I'm not going to go any further on that.
What do you mean? What's our opinion on the community? Like, what is our opinion on the different channels, or like
Different channels, and another note is luckily I caught a scammer again messing with my mom's phone about a computer being slow again. That conversation backfired under 3 minutes, so you can continue about the subject of controversial channels.
Yeah, controversial channel.
Well, I mean, I don't think Linux is very controversial. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
I think.
I meant the YouTube channels.
Oh, YouTube? Well, let's switch to Linux, for example. Okay? I would call him and his community, this is no disrespect to the guy, he's really cool, really smart, but he's what I would call a Linux nutball, an open source fanboy. And to me, I don't get along with that personally.
I laid it down somewhere in there, Mom.
What do you think, Benjamin?
Well, I like the diversity of opinions between the channels, the diversity of experience between them. Like you got DistroTube on like the Arch side of things, and you got Switched on the stable Linux Mint side of things, and you have one DistroTube saying that Linux Mint is just an Ubuntu clone. There's no reason for it to exist.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
Switch firing back, and I'm just like, I love watching that.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, I like the controversy where he's got where they both have their opinions, and I really like that. And I love how Toss just brings us all together. I mean, he's kind of a jack of all trades, you might say.
And I mean, I'm
like
kind
how eventually it all just comes together,
Yeah, I mean, like we all have our disagreements on like what's the best form of Linux, or what's the best distro, but we all come together because like what other operating system can we run the same operating system so differently?
Yeah, it really helps us as a community to have all of our different opinions. I mean, sure, we can all agree on one thing, but then it would be boring,
Yeah.
I mean, there's never going to be an all jack of all trades Linux distro. It's not going to.
Well, but that's why I would say Linux itself is a jack of all trades, because like you got a million different distros for a million different purposes, for a million different mindsets, for a million different people.
Yeah, if we all had one, this is why every time I hear Toss talk about just one distro controlling them all, it makes me scared because as much as I love the guy, he's a cool friend, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The problem with that happening is the fact that we would lose the controversy and the diversity, and then we're open to plenty more problems and plenty more malware and things like that.
Hmm.
As
And
much as I would love to see Linux more frequently in stores, there's
And
just more problems with that.
I mean, it's like I get why people want to make Chrome OS the Linux standard, but I have my reservations about making Google our ambassador, right? Like they don't represent what Linux represents. They don't represent the what FOSS is. And I'm not saying that we have to go full Stallman and get every Joe on going full Stallman, but like if I introduce someone to Linux, I want to at least try to introduce them to like, okay, here's a distro that's easy to use, but you're in control of the system. You have privacy. Like they should get used to that aspect of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and plus the problem with Chrome being based around Gentoo is the fact that, it's Gentoo, unbeknownst to a lot of Chrome OS users, is the fact that we're going down the road of, Portage and all those other things that are just known to be very complicated for a brand new person. So,
About that, my biggest question for you, Ben, is how was your distro at the Linux Fest in your state going?
mine?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't actually go. It wasn't in Kentucky. It was in North Carolina. So yeah, and that's not close to me.
Yeah, and I live in Massachusetts, so
I
What?
getting down there is just not. I don't know. It wasn't an option for me.
Yeah, me either. It's like
Well, I don't have
miles
one in
away.
my state either.
I couldn't. I might go to Southeast Linux Fest South next year if it's closer. So,
Unfortunately, I'm in the Northeast, so
yeah, him and I meeting, not a good chance of that. Yeah,
I live in the North.
yeah. I
Beyond-
live in
beyond
like the middle of the country.
I live beyond the ice wall where the White Walkers and the Night King. No land of ice and snow most of the year here.
Yeah, I know in your area. Not so much over here. Over here, it's mostly rain.
It's been mostly rain since summer started here.
Yeah, over here in winter, it's very rare that we get sort of stuff.
Like where I live is in there's something called the Pioneer Valley, where like we're surrounded by the Berkshire Mountains to the west and to the north, and to the east. There's like a 3-hour drive to Boston.
You're a
Yes.
mountain person, aren't you, Ben?
No, I live in the valley, the Pioneer.
Yeah. I've been in the mountains before on a ski resort, and cell phones don't work way up in the mountain area.
Uh,
No, well, it depends on the mountain you're in.
The mountain I went to was North Carolina Sapphire Valley Ski Resort, and cell phones were dead. It was a complete cell phone dead zone up there.
right.
I believe it. You might have been away from towers.
It
Like
was located far away from towers.
Like there's a few dead zones around where I am, depending on what your carrier is.
Mine's
Well, the carrier back in 2012, I was on my mom's account with AT&T and did not pick up at all up there.
I have Sprint. I mean,
Oh, so you can hear me now.
yeah.
Well, I should say Benjamin and Ben instead of Ben, because I would say both Bens and got them confused.
Yeah,
So
we should probably call Ben that instead of, and then just call me Ben because that's probably going to be easier.
You just call us Arch and Gentoo. We'll know who you're talking
Either
about.
one, yeah, yeah.
okay.
Call us Ben. There you go. That'll probably make it a lot easier.
My biggest question for Ben and for Mr. Gentoo Ben and Arch Ben is what would y'all do if Hangouts went under? And I realize I already have bad luck with Hangouts.
That's a good question, actually, William.
Well, I'm not sure if Google is planning on replacing it with anything. If they are, I'll probably hop
Well,
on.
if they are, we'll probably hop to that. But I mean,
But I haven't heard of anything in the works. At least I haven't.
I haven't either. I mean,
Well, YouTube messaging has gone to private messaging now, to where you can send messages in a group message. But back in the old YouTube, you could just send messages to channels, and the users behind the channel will respond to it, like in the past. I remember. But now it's a group invite message on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, now here goes Google Plus going under. What do you think about MeWe so far?
I think MeWe's good. It's they seem to be seriously focused on privacy. I give them that.
But what I don't like is how you have to pay money to get unlimited access to the video chat.
I don't know.
Well, but they have to make their money somehow,
Yes.
and
I mean, and that's through ads. I mean, that's why they're killing the ad blocker.
I mean, Facebook makes their money off of you. Okay, that's why you don't pay them anything. They're making their money off of you, off of your data. And so for something like MeWe to come up, if they're not going to sell your data to make money, they've got to find another way to keep the lights on. And like they sell certain extensions. Like I gave them a couple bucks for their dark theme. And like I think that's fair enough. Like I'd rather pay them than have them take my data and sell that. So I mean,
Well, I don't mind if companies profited off my profile. I mean, Steam and other services. I don't mind if they learn who I am and what I like to do, like what games or things I like to look at or purchase or look up.
Right.
But Switch to Linux is against that. I'm not trying to criticize him. I mean, to switch, I would rather let Steam, Origin by EA, Google learn what I often type up or have interest in, so I can recommend stuff that I have interest in, but don't recommend stuff that I don't show interest in.
Right. I agree. I mean, you know, Steam is a great platform. Don't get me wrong.
But again, my example is Steam knows I like to play certain adventure platform games, so it gives me those recommendations. It won't give me recommendations for games that I haven't played or purchased at all.
yeah,
And
I do like Steam. The fact that they're making heavy strides into Linux territory, I do like that. With the Proton player, and
I also tried out some Proton games in my Steam library that do work on Linux, while my PopCap games do work with a workaround I found. Obviously, some of my Windows games will work in it, some don't, because the more testing time is needed by the Proton people who do Proton testing. But again, I actually love how Xbox knows that I played a certain game and made an Xbox profile of me, like a year in Xbox review for me, which I love.
Wow.
They knew the amount of hours I've spent on it, the amount of achievements, how many times I played the game, which shows them, hey, they wanted to show me what I've done in the year of 2018 for Xbox. When 2019 comes to an end, the same thing will happen every year. They'll give you a free snow globe picture to download of your gamer profile.
that's good.
I love it when gaming services build dossiers on people, but Switch to Linux is against that. I don't understand why, but he uses a Google product.
Well, I kind of understand. Like if they're collecting your data to better the product for you, that's one thing. But I think he's looking more at the nefarious things that they could be doing with that data. And I mean, like the gaming platforms. I mean, we pay them for the games, so they're making their money that way. They don't really need to sell our data or anything like that. But something like Facebook or YouTube or Google, they're not charging you for anything.
Do I criticize Switch to Linux? No, I have mixed feelings about him, DistroTube, and other YouTubers that I kind of have to take some things they say with a grain of salt.
That's the thing. That's why we have so many. You listen to them. form your own opinion based off of what you've
Right.
heard. I mean,
The one thing that concerns me about Tom is the fact that he tries to give his opinion to everybody. That's the way I feel about it.
well, but at the end of the day, they're just opinions, right? He's not trying to
Yeah, you
force
don't have
us
to follow it.
to agree with them. Like,
Yeah, you don't have
Here's
to.
good news. Huawei is confirming Android for certain devices. Her Android Q, despite the ban.
Yeah.
well, I mean, like, I would love to de-Googlify my life, but I'm like 10 years ago is when I formed my Gmail account, and like I
Yeah.
put a bunch of stuff on my Google Drive and stuff. It's like I'm too entrenched in it, like at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to remove Facebook and all these other things from my life, but unfortunately, I have so many contacts and this and that. That just not.
Like that's the problem too.
not
Is
gonna happen.
it's like you got to go where the people are, and unfortunately, the people are on Facebook. It's like, well, nobody's gonna.
Nobody's gonna jump to MeWe or something like that because all their friends are there, all their lives are there, and they put them all on there.
It's a vicious cycle because nobody goes onto MeWe because nobody's on MeWe, and nobody
Goes on.
and no, there's nobody on there because nobody goes onto it. It's like, well, come on.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, nobody knows. Nobody knows about these other places.
And like I formed my MeWe account like
Yeah.
a few years ago, but I wasn't active on it until Toss got on it and Steve and all them.
Yeah, but that's not enough of us users out there that really keeps me on it.
And like to be honest, I've been getting more into like IRC chats. Like DistroTube has his IRC chat room, and like I've been like I lately I've had this hunger or this desire to bring the internet and technology back to a simpler state. Like
Yeah.
I've been trying to use like like I showed you Ranger Neoma console based mail client. I've been using IRC like there's just
Oh,
got an
William,
echo.
we got an echo from you, buddy.
Like I've been just like who would be with me if I made a petition to say like let's get the web back to text based. Like I understand certain things won't be able to work on it, like videos and stuff like this, but like how about we at least make an attempt to simplify the internet, like de-bloat it.
Couldn't it go back to dial-up where you just had the websites that only load text over a dun, 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 dun?
Well, I wouldn't say let's go back to dial-up, but like
I wouldn't go there.
I mean, some certain strides in technology was good. Like broadband and internet is pretty good, and dial-up still exists in the form of Skrillex. So, I mean, we're good in that department.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I would love for us to get some better. My brain is dying. Oh, God. Can hardly think anymore at night.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I'm starting to drag on it.
I mean, I think part of it just comes with age. Like we're
Yeah,
getting older.
I'm almost 28 next month, and it's already starting to show.
I'll be 30 this year. I don't want to talk about it.
Gracious, dude. Anyway, it was good to talk to you guys. I'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
And Benjamin, don't forget to send me that stuff.
Remind me, shoot me an email.
I'll need you to get that off you.
Here, I'll shoot it in
The group chat. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll copy it into my contacts.
Here, I'm sending it through the chat here in the Hangouts.
Happy
All right, cool.
early birthday, Ben.
Thank you, William.
Before
I-
then or after then?
I was born. Yeah, I was born 1:09 a.m. July 16th.
Whoa!
So I will talk to you guys later.
Oh,
Right.
Bye.
well, my birthday's not till September, so like I'm still technically in my 20s for the next 2 months. Okay, so
I'm 26. Ha!
youngin, whippersnapper.
Dang, or it sounds like you're born in 1978.
Who, me? Oh my
You.
god, I'm not that old. I was born in 1989.
That's the early 80s, right toward the end of the 80s when NES came out. Huh.
Ah, Night Qualis. I do remember the NES. I remember Mario Brothers. I unfortunately had to play as Luigi because I was the player 2 all the time. But I remember those days.
Okay then.
Anyway, it is getting kind of late, so I think I'm gonna hop off here soon.
I'm gonna exit a little earlier because I'm starting to yawn and I don't want to spread my yawn contagiousness all over the internet.
Anyway, so I'm gonna just this was kind of spur of the moment. Um, Conversation went all over the place.
You're gonna have to learn how to share the Hangouts link a little bit or add people in a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm just like figuring this out as I go. Um, just learned like the link in the top bar here is what um, like if you look up here,
Mm-hmm.
this is a link that I share with people, and it works for most people. It worked for Ben, it worked for Ricky.
Well, it worked on my Motorola Moto phone with Android 8.0 Oreo. It got me in directly through that way. I mean, for my tablet 5.1, it doesn't no longer work.
So anyway, I'm gonna just stop the broadcast here in a minute. So like just yeah, sorry to end it so abruptly, but have a good night, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow if I get some time to stream. Hopefully, I have a set topic and like